These are the VRS Porsche Pro pedals. So it's a high-end product, stainless steel construction with an industrial aesthetic. Very, very adjustable. All three pedals, the pedal faces in terms of height, depth, angle are fully adjustable, and overall pedal angle is also adjustable. Now, if we look at the throttle pedal first, we have quite a unique design here. So we have a rodless spring, which doesn't quite look right to the eye, but functionally performs extremely well. Absolutely no friction whatsoever, so really nice smooth response. And we have a lot of adjustability here in terms of initial starting force, preload, and also overall force and pedal travel. So if we move on to the brake, we have similar levels of adjustability, a very high-end, heavy-duty construction. We have the blue spring on here at the moment, which tolerates a 65 kilogram maximum force. Also supplied is the optional red spring, which doubles that to 130 kilograms. These are linear springs, which is not normally how a real-life brake pedal feels. So we have this very clever mechanism on the back here, which basically turns that into a progressive, more realistic feeling, which gives you quite a decent bit of travel for low-level trail braking, and then more of a ramp up when you're really braking much harder. And we have this tie rod at the top, which is fully adjustable, along with preload, so you can really fine-tune that exact force shape to your preference. On the clutch, we have a similar level of adjustability in terms of pedal face and also the shape of the curve. So we try to emulate a clutch plate, which is stiff initially and then flattens out as the clutch gives way. So that's emulated here with a small amount of adjustability, including overall travel as well. So we're very happy with this product, and we hope you are too. These are the VRS Porsche Pro pedals. So it's a high-end product, stainless steel construction with an industrial aesthetic. Very, very adjustable. All three pedals, the pedal faces in terms of height, depth, angle are fully adjustable, and overall pedal angle is also adjustable. Now, if we look at the throttle pedal first, we have quite a unique design here. So we have a rod.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit IRacing.com.
If you're looking to get serious in sim racing, one of the first things to do is upgrade your wheelbase and pedals. The powerful force feedback in our direct drive wheelbase makes a huge difference, and our highly adjustable precision pedals will give you the consistency you need to improve. So you'll not only get the best value for your money, but you'll also benefit from our quick, local shipping from Australia and save even more. Our transparent pricing has GST included, so there's no nasty surprises at checkout or further customs delays and charges. And if you're near Melbourne, you can simply pick up your hardware from our showroom and get a free product walkthrough from one of our VRS coaches. We offer excellent customer service after the sale, and our hardware is made of the highest quality components. To get yours today, just go to the URL on the screen or click on the button below. But hurry, stock is always limited due to high demand. So if you want to get faster, sooner, VRS is your answer.
control. Feel the thunder in my soul. Through the danger, through the pain. Only one thing to do to get to victory lane. Taking risks, full send, and in the end, be the best. It's taking over, cannot contain the desire to get to victory lane. Of the past, the roaring ghosts that never last. But here I stand, the finish line. One last race, one last time. Through it all, get past the pain. Cutting laps, making gains. Feeling tired, get to my aim. The desire to get to victory lane. Speeding faster, no control. Feel the thunder in my soul. Through the danger, through the pain. Only one thing to do to get to victory lane. Taking risks, full send, and in the end, be the best. It's taking over, cannot contain the desire to get to victory lane.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Infinity Broadcasting. Welcome into the IRWC presents the VRS Virtual Racing School Porsche Cup Series this evening for round 10 of season 1, the finale round of the season out at Detroit Belle Isle here this evening. I'm your commentator, Hamish Munro, joined as always by the great James Parfitt alongside. James, we're in for a hell of a night of racing. The championship is coming down to, realistically speaking, 3 drivers. There is one who is mathematically within a chance, but it would take extraordinary circumstances for that to happen, that being Ellie Gardner. But for Daniel Harris, Corey Lazarus, and Simon Mazzomo, the championship leader, it is all on the line here at the streets of Belle Isle, and I feel it's a maximum pressure test now coming to this circuit with a championship on the line, and there's only a handful of points in it.
I think from our point of view, it's going to be very interesting. The first question you've got to ask is, Ellie Gardner needs a miracle, right? Flat out miracle for her to even be considered in this championship final win, okay? So realistically, Ellie, not so much. Dan Harris, we know he's had a power outage, we know he's switched over to his solar power, and we also know if the power comes back on, he's going to get disconnected again. There we go. Whether or not he's going to be able to stay in the session is going to be an interesting one. Corey Lazarus, well, he's points behind these guys. Again, he needs Mazzomo to have a awful round, right, for him to even be considered in this. The only one man who needs to be consistent this race, this round, is Mazzomo. And if Mazzomo is consistent, then he'll take the championship. Other than that, I can't see anybody else doing it.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough task, I think, for anyone else to do it here tonight as well. I've just realised I need to check if I have actually at least got a Belle Isle track map. Otherwise, I'm not even going to be able to have a look at the track map because I'm not going to be willing to download it whilst we're live because that will probably cut us off. Regardless, though, for Mazzomo, if we look at the championship standings and how we currently sit into this final round, Mez leads 904 points. This is all after drop round has now been included. Daniel Harris, P2, 7 points behind. You'd have to think if he didn't have that 5-point penalty, he'd only be 2 points off the back of Mez, which would make his night a whole lot easier if that were to happen. But 897 points is his total for the moment. Corey Lazarus, 886 points. He's 18 points off the lead of the championship. Then Ellie Gardner, 817 points. She is 87 points off the championship lead. As we said, she would need a miracle tonight to win the championship, but she is within a mathematical chance. Whether it's the top 3 all get disqualified and she gets herself enough points to get up to the top, well, it's going to be a tough night for her to try and get that done. But it is, as we said, mathematically possible. As we mentioned last week, we have got a new series coming to the IRWC next season. That is the Rod Knock Cup. We revealed the calendar last weekend. We can also reveal this week that sign-ups are now live for that series. So you guys can sign up. It's $10 for the entry fee for that series. We're not having live race control or safety car for it. We're going to be using the automatic caution system, as most oval series will do, using the ARCA cars for that series as well. So yeah, get your sign-ups in, join the Discord, and come and enjoy some fun on the ovals on Friday nights. And of course, the Season 2 sign-ups are still live for VRS Porsche Cup Series. We've already got Around about 20 drivers signed up for next season, so it'd be good to get more in there as well. It's been extraordinary, the support of this series that we've had thus far. Since releasing it not too long ago, around about 12 weeks ago now, we started this series, and by the final round of Season 1, we're on for one cracking finish here this evening. Open qualifying has begun for these drivers, and there are some X factors out there, James. There are some X factors in this. First of all, obviously, I think it's the most obvious X factor that's out there. It is the concrete barriers and how well you can survive from avoiding those concrete barriers. That's your number one priority tonight. You can't control what other drivers are going to do, and if there's going to be a stack at turn 3, lap 1, there's not much you can do about it but take avoiding action and hope that you do not get hit. The other X factor for Daniel Harris, we mentioned, is his power. He had a power outage just before the end of practice. He's back on with his solar power, but if the power comes back on, he will get cut off again. His hopes would be if it's going to come back on, it's going to come back on in the mid-session warm-up in between race 1 and race 2. So that way he has 5 minutes to reconnect to his regular power source and get back into the session. And then the other X factor, Ben Pedersen. One of the fastest drivers in the field, who will be going hell for leather to try and get a race win for himself, just to garner back some points that he's lost this season. He's not fighting for a championship now, he's fighting for personal glory. He could be an X factor in this too, and may play a part in this championship battle. And after last week, the controversies that ended out last week's race as well, as Mazomo, the championship leader, goes to the top of the timesheets, if you're Jaden Wilcox, you are going to try and avoid Daniel Harris and Corey Lazarus as much as possible. You do not want to be a part of that again. He was very apprehensive. He did not feel good that he was a part of that moment with Daniel. He doesn't want to be a part of it again this week, I'm sure. He'll try and help his teammate as best he can, but I'm going to doubt that he may not try and send it as hard this time in the hopes that contact is not made.
Trying to choose my words now, because before I get myself in trouble, which is generally what I would do normally if I just free speak myself, I think that was a very interesting situation.
Yeah,
I don't believe it was intentional.
I don't think so either.
He was sliding he was sliding to the right, but his steering was going left. Right. We sat here and I had a look at it and analysed it. I don't think the fact that because he was involved there was any malicious in there. It was just one of them horrible coincidence for Wilcox. He just happened to lose it at the wrong moment and make contact. That was it. There was nothing in it. And I really did sit and have a look at this. And as you said, he was sliding to the right, his steering was going left. I still don't believe that there was any malicious contact whatsoever. It was just purely unfortunate incident. Now, what Mazomo really needs at this moment in time, he needs to be in and around his teammates, okay? So he needs to be in and around Craig Schultz if he can, to see if Schultz might be able to help him out a little bit, to see if he's going to be able to work with him. You need friends. That's what I'm going to say, is you need friends, and Mazomo's going to need friends, and hopefully Schultz might be able to get near him.
Well, interestingly enough, look who's just gone to the top of the timesheets. Ellie Gardner, 131.13, and an incredible effort. She's got some pace tonight. And if somehow, by the miracle going her way, could she possibly get a race win and win the championship? As we said, it's unlikely. It's not very unlikely, but it's unlikely based on where she would sit at the moment. Lazarus has gone P3, 131.38 on that last lap. The good thing for Daniel Harris this week is his teammate's back, Jared McLeod. After getting his hand fixed up, he's back on track with us, so he will be able to help Daniel at some point in this race, I'm sure. But the important thing to remember is for Daniel Harris to win this race here tonight, he needs to beat Simon Mazomo by 7 total positions across both races. So whether that's he beats him by 7 in race 1, and then he finishes ahead of him again in race 2, or he beats him by 3 and 4 across both races, it would tie them on points, but Harris would win on countback based on the amount of race wins that he's had this season. Corey Lazarus needs to beat Simon Mazomo by 18 positions tonight, so whether that's 9 split across both races or 18 in one of them, he will then find himself right in the hunt again for this championship battle. So it could go anywhere. It could happen in race 1 where all of a sudden someone is right on the cusp of winning the title, and it's really, really close for race 2 as well. It's not going to be decided in race 1, unless somebody is disqualified. So as long as they finish, and because I think we have 19 drivers in the field, so you're going to get enough points down to 19th. You are going to give up some points, but you will still be within it. So tough night on the road, tough night of racing for these drivers. Who's your pick?
Mazomo.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, he's coming in as the leader, you know, and it's he has the least amount of work to do. For, you know, obviously comparatively to Daniel and Corey, he doesn't have to do nearly as much. He just has to finish within a certain amount of positions on them. He doesn't even need to beat them to win tonight. So he just has to try and keep it out of the wall, get to the checkered flag, and do what he's been doing all season long. If he finishes third place or higher in both races, he will win the title. If he finishes P2 in race number 1, he then just needs a top 4 in race 2, and he will win the title as well. So that's what's at stake for them. And for Daniel and for Corey, what they need to do is they need to get race wins. They need both race wins if they can, because it'll put the maximum pressure on Mez to do the bare minimum that he needs to.
He's just going to make sure at the moment 2 things are going to happen. 1, he qualifies up by the front. 2, he can make it through turn 1 and 2 without any dramatics in turn 3 for the opening lap. After that, he just settles in and drives his race. Guy's been consistent all season. We know this from Mazomo. And at the end of the day, he's just got to do the same thing again. He doesn't have to go nuts. That's one of the things from his point of view. He doesn't have to go absolutely crazy. He's just got to make sure that he's there when he needs to be there. If Lazarus is at the end, then he knows he can be within 7 places of him, or Harris, and be within 7 places of him. And at the moment, they're 4th and 5th. So they're not even that far away currently. So Mez has only got one target, and that's stay within wherever Harris is at the moment. Laz, big outside chance, but again, there is a chance there. And again, for Mazomo, to be honest, I would only worry about Daniel Harris. I wouldn't worry about anybody else.
Yeah, obviously Lazarus looms overhead, barring the fact, of course, that he's within the points. But Harris is the closest that Mazomo needs to worry about. Mazomo is the main driver he needs to worry about. I think the mentality for Mez tonight will be, he's not going to try and battle Daniel for position because he doesn't need to. Daniel needs to battle him. He doesn't need to battle Daniel. So he'll be happy to finish right behind Daniel if he has to, and he can win. Like that's all he needs to do. So, you know, it's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of championship battles. What this has led to, though, is an incredible finale narrative and storyline on our hands, because it is so close between these drivers. And, you know, this circuit, we know how chaotic it can be, James. We've called many races around this track and a multitude of different car types and categories, but there's always one thing that each category, no matter what category is here, no matter what race type is here, no matter what series is here, there's always one thing that is the same. It is Belle Isle, and we could get chaos. Absolute chaos. We could get safety cars, we could get turn 3 lap 1 incidents happening, we could get turn 7 incidents happening. Anything can happen at this race, and one minute mistake where you are a millimeter offline could lead to absolute disaster and end your championship. So that is the X factor of this track. It's the main reason why we picked it to be the final round of every season, because we want to always have that X factor in mind of, if the championship's close, it's not going to be over until we get to the final checkered flag of the season at the last race of the season.
Who's been most consistent all season?
Mez. It's been Mez. He's got no penalty points. He's finished on the podium the most amount of times. He's yet to take a race win, but he hasn't needed to. And he's had I believe he's had nearly most round performances happening. I mean, he's at least finished on the podium in one race every single round that he's participated in. I don't even think there's been one round which he hasn't. Even with missing a round that was his drop round, he has performed to the highest degree every single race. And as we said, he's never gotten a penalty next to his name all season. Not lost any points. Yeah, if you're Daniel Harris and you lose this championship by 5 points, you will be kicking yourself. Because that 5-point penalty that you got yourself would then be looking like the worst thing in the world that has ever happened in a race car for you. If it's 4 points, different story. If it's 6 points, different story. If it's 5 points, that's going to hurt. Because if he ties, he wins on countback.
But then, don't get yourself penalty points.
That's right.
I don't really know what else there is to say on it. Is to just don't get yourself penalty points. And Mez hasn't done that.
It's all you can say.
And if there's anywhere where you need to be consistent, as Mez has been, it's here. That's it. And he's just got to be that consistent.
And of course, you know, to remind everyone out there who's watched along all season as well, tonight is undroppable. So whatever points they get tonight, they must keep on their championship standings. The points at the moment are final. At this stage, there's no more drop rounds they can take. They were only able to take one. Whether they missed a round or whatever their worst round was, that was their drop round. And tonight, they cannot drop these points. If you're in the position of Harris or Mez, where you've missed a round, well, you've done the whole season without a drop round in your back pocket because you've missed one. So they've done everything, every single race, without being able to drop it. So it's the same scenario for them tonight. This qualifying comes to an end for Daniel Harris, and he just straight lines it at turn 1. And then I think the other factor is as well is, and maybe a little bit of a learning curve for some drivers may not be used to league racing as well, even though you drop the race points for a race, you still carry the penalty points. So for Corey Lazarus, for example, his worst round this season was only a few weeks ago. It might have been Phillip Island. Can't quite remember, to be honest with you. But he dropped his race points, but he kept his penalty points, because you do not drop penalty points when you drop round. You only drop the race points. So, you know, that's one thing for drivers to remember, not only if they've raced this season, but if they're new coming into next season as well, is read the regs, learn the regs, and understand the harshness of the penalties are there for a reason, because we want to try and promote clean, consistent racing where drivers can go door to door and not have to worry about getting taken out and put into a wall.
It's hard because despite how many penalties, how many incidents, how many things you put in the regulations, there's always going to be accidents.
Oh, there will.
And
we know that. We know that.
Regardless. And, you know, you can punish people to the hilt, but all you're then doing is you've got to be careful on where that fine line of punishment is.
That's right.
To where the fine line of being a dictator
No, that's
is.
right. That's
you
right.
know, and you've got to make sure that you don't make changes that suit you, but don't suit everybody else.
No, that's
so.
right.
It's a hard game to play, and it's a hard situation to play. And running leagues generally is hard. You're never going to please everybody, but I think at the end of the day, you've just got to be aware that if you don't want to get any penalty points, don't get penalty points. It's fairly straightforward. Don't do anything stupid.
Just try and stay out of it. And sometimes there's unavoidable things, and you're found at fault. You know, that's then when you just got to self-reflect at some times as well. And we're not saying this as, you know, this is us crushing down on people for getting penalties. We understand that incidents happen. We understand accidents happen as well. And I think we've been pretty firm but fair with the incidents this season. You know, Greg's been a phenomenal race controller. He steps out of that position next season to come racing with us as qualifying comes to an end. So it'll be good to see him out on track. He may have a target on his back from some other drivers, but he's well aware of that. He knows the stakes that get put on the line when you sign up as a race controller to actually race in an event. But nonetheless, final round is about to get underway as race 1, 20 minutes for the sprint round here tonight. Will look like this for the starting grid. Corey Lazarus will start pole alongside Ben Pedersen on the front row of the grid. Daniel Harris, Ellie Gardner for the second row, with Craig Schultz and Simon Mazzomo for the third row of the grid. David Duddle and Nico Corgier for the top 8, with Jaden Wilcox and Devon Stove inside of the top 10. Paul Wilson, Dan Patrick will then make up our 6th row of the grid, as we then move back to Alex Schuler and Ernie Toth for the top 14. Jared McLeod, Matt Tesseriero will start ahead of Johnny Rowe, Stuart Patterson, and then Adam Hughes and Shannon Fever will make up the 20-car grid here this evening. Our race controllers tonight, Jack Anderson steps into the chief race steward role with Jordan Ferguson as his offsider and Lucas Burt in the safety car once again. But it all comes down to this. And I have a feeling we may get, James, a bit of a feeling for how the racing is going to be tonight based on how the first lap or so is going to be here in race 1. That's really going to determine what sort of race we're going to have tonight. Is it going to be chaotic? Is it going to be controversial? Or are we just going to get some good hard racing where drivers are going to be trying to push the limits and hang on the edge of grip, the edge of the limits, which can then lead to mistakes, or are we going to get to it where people are trying to bob it up the inside of every corner and we get a safety car fest?
What you don't want from the guys fighting the championship is you don't want them doing stupid things at the beginning.
Yep.
Because the likes of Harris, the likes of Mez, the likes of Lazarus can't win the championship in this race, but they can definitely lose it.
They can. They
So
can
they've got to be
definitely
careful.
lose it. So the crucial point tonight is we have 20 cars in the field. Race 2, there is a maximum difference of 28 points. Or 29 points. So 29 points is the maximum difference. No, that's not right. 19 points. Sorry. 19 points difference.
You're trying to do maths.
I don't know.
You can give
I don't know.
yourself a
I even said it's 1 point per difference. I don't know why. It's a simple maths. There's 19 points on offer for race 2. So if, for whatever reason, Harris and Lazarus are away by 19 points, or no, to be 20 points, because they can both beat Mez on countback. If they're away by 20 points after the end of race 1, Mez can win the championship in race 1. So for Lazarus, he needs to beat Mez in race 1. He cannot lose to him by a single point. If he loses to him by one position, Lazarus is out. If Harris loses to Mazzomo to get down to 20 points, he's out. So that's what's on the line. Lights are up for them. The crescendo to the final race of the season for 20 minutes, and we are underway for race 1 of the evening at Belle Isle. The concrete jungle has called our name in the Motor City. And how well can drivers survive their first rundown as the scramble has begun and they look to battle their way forward. The 9.5 cars in the background looking to work together early here. All three of them are together, but Lazarus will lead us into turn 3. Pedersen and Harris on the podium. Gardner P4. Mazzomo's up to P5 already as they start fighting their way forward. And Schuler and co battle in the background. But we survived turn 3 on lap 1. Can we survive the next big test, which is turn 7 at the end of the back straight?
Yeah, Lazarus did what he had to do. He got away at the beginning. Pedersen tucked in right behind him. Harris there as well. Gardner where she needs to be. Tesorio, tough of some form of drama. Mazzomo needed what he got. He needed Schultz. He needed Wilcox in and around him. They've now got to protect him as best they possibly can. This is basically Mazzomo being the quarterback. Harry, for Schultz and Wilcox, they're his linebackers, and they've got to protect him fully right about now. They cannot afford for him to lose any more time. They've got to just literally get everything out. It doesn't matter what, how, where, when, or whatever they throw out of that car, they've got to protect Mazzomo going backwards. And that, at the moment, is what Mazzomo needed. If he can get this for race 2 as well, the championship's his. But big times from Schultz and Wilcox. Lazarus, Pedersen and Harris just doing what they're doing. They're going up the road, but it is still not enough. Mazzomo's still got this if he stays where he is.
So there's been some big incidents already in this race. As I was just seeing, Adam Hughes, Stuart Pedersen and Jared McLeod have been involved in something here. Let's have a look what's happened to Matt Tesario and Ernie Toth on lap 1 down at turn 4. How has this occurred down here? So they're all scrambling for position. And as they come round, just a little bit of overlap and round they go.
Ooh,
and a bit of a
back end
just a little double hit for good measure there. Then Adam Hughes had this moment as well. This is down at turn 12. So what's happened to him? Oh, he's just gone straight on. The thing has not wanted to turn in. So whether he's missed the braking zone or
somebody in front also hit the wall as well.
Yeah, that was Stuart Patterson and Jared McLeod. So I believe McLeod, he's already in the wall. Then Patterson comes along and clips the back of him. So already some moments of drivers getting caught up together. But Lazarus still leads the way. Exactly what he needs to do tonight. Pedersen, Harris on the podium. Gardner, Mazzomo, Schultz, Wilcox, Duddle, Cordier, Wilson, the top 10. And Stove, Patrick, Schuler, Fever, Rowe, Patterson, Tesseriero, McLeod, Hughes and Toth at the back of the field. But we've done well. We've gone safety carless at the start of this race here, James. And I feel now the field's started to spread, we're only really going to get a safety car if someone makes a massive mistake and they clobber their car into the wall.
Yeah, it's only if they're around anybody. Basically, Lazarus Pedersen and Harris probably could do that. Cordier Wilson, Patrick Schuler maybe having a go at each other as well. But I think now they've had to do this. They've had to get past lap 1, 2, and 3 and spread this field out as much as they can. You see Pedersen having a go. He's here to win. He don't care at this moment in time for Ben Pedersen. He's sitting down in 9th. He's not really in the championship, but he's here to have a fight. And at the moment, that's what he's doing. Great for the people in behind him. David Duddle's just had some form of drama as well. Looks like he's caused himself problems. They need Pedersen to fight with these top 2 anyway. Gardner needs to stay and hope that these 3 take each other out and all 3 get disqualified to even think about it. And Mazzomo just needs to stay where he is with the protection of Schultz and Wilcox. That's it.
Yeah. And so, well, realistically speaking, for Gardner to win this, she needs them to get disqualified from both races, because if they're disqualified from race 1, they can still participate in race 2. So she's going to need them to just completely change their driving styles pretty much for this one and attack it too hard and then get themselves disqualified. It's the only world in which Ellie Gardner can win, but it is still the mathematical chance, and weirder things have happened in the sim world, I'm sure. As Matt Tesoriero, he's in the wall at turn 7. Oh, and I have a feeling, has he clipped that curb on the inside and it's just gone round? Bit of typical Porsche things for us. Well, he hasn't hit the curb, but he's coming a bit too hot.
He didn't really hit anything, to be blatantly honest. He didn't even brake hard enough. He just literally went round on his own there. And Pedersen's just wiggled straight in the wall.
That was such a weird snap from Pedersen.
It's coming up over the bump, coming out of turn 1, isn't it? That's the problem. He come up over the bump, still on the throttle, and it probably got a little bit loose on him. But at the moment, it's for Harris. He's doing everything he can. He's got 3, roughly, 4 positions on him, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But at the moment, Mazzomo's just doing what he needs to do. He doesn't need to do anything silly, and he knows that.
I mean, this is all that that Harris can do. If they were to finish where they are, he'd be getting 39 points. Mez would be getting 36, so he'd have a 3-point gain. He would then need the 4 position difference in race 2 for him to win the title on countbacks. So he's doing all he can at this point. I mean, realistically speaking, he would love to win the race, finish ahead of Lazarus, because that would mean that Harris, as he gets right up onto the back of him, it would mean that Harris would then, he wouldn't need to beat Mez by as many positions in race 2. But it just adds a little bit more pressure, doesn't it? You know, really opens up the pressure cooker for us and begins to just apply it just that little bit more, which is what he needs to do. He needs to find a way to apply pressure to Mazzomo tonight to maybe force a mistake or force him to crack, as Tessoriero's had another incident. And unfortunately, he's towed back to pit, so he's going to be disqualified from this race.
Well, yeah, but you know, he's had a rough race and he probably don't really care, to be blatantly honest. It's the final race of the season. He's like, I've had enough of this, get me out of here. So fair play to him. You know, he's going to come, I'm sure, sit back at home with some slippers and a blanket on and maybe watch it on YouTube. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's not really about what goes on further down. It's about what goes on up the front. And at the moment, it's all where it kind of should be, needs to be. And that's the situation currently.
Yeah, so these guys, they may not necessarily battle too hard unless Pedersen decides to go on the attack. We're just past the quarter-way mark of race 1, 7 minutes into it, 13 minutes to go. Plenty of opportunity for action to be had as the teammates back here of Sharp starting to work together here of Schuler, Patrick and Stove, trying to fight their way forward. Stove currently in the provisional pole position for race 2, P10 on the road at this stage for Devon Stove, and he's only got his teammates behind him, so he may well finish here and start race 2 on pole. Cordier up ahead for Gamma Flares under pressure from Paul Wilson, and then Craig Schultz, Jaden Wilcox working together just to hold off 2 positions that could possibly be taken to put attack onto their championship leader teammate Simon Mazzomo up ahead of them. But this top 3, I mean, racing this close together, James, for this many laps without making mistakes, well, relatively speaking, Pedersen had a minor snap. But to race this close for this long is extraordinary, because this track, somehow, if you think you're not going to make a mistake, all of a sudden you can, and it can be race done. So they're doing a phenomenal job.
That's the thing at the moment as well. When you are racing closely, it's really, really hard to make sure that you don't make the mistake at the same time. And that's what these guys are hoping for at the moment here once again at Belle Isle. Hamish, if you can just check your messages for me, that would be amazing.
No worries. Oh, yep, no worries, James. All good. You can go do that. We'll see you back very soon. James is going to quickly do some tech issue or fix some tech issues for himself, so he should be back fairly shortly once he's done that. But Corey Lazarus and Daniel Harris at the front of the field continue to battle this one out. Pedersen hot on their heels as well, doing all they can do at this point of the race to try and gain any points they can on Simon Mazzomo. As I said earlier, Harris is currently gaining 3 points on him. Lazarus is gaining 4 points on Mazzomo. We changed the differentials for Lazarus to 14 points and for Harris to 4 points. So we make the night that little bit easier for them, but Lazarus still has a world of effort to do to try and fight his way towards a championship. He's been ultra dominant this season, won the most races out of anyone, but has made some crucial errors along the way that has cost him dearly. So he'll be hoping to make up for that here tonight and continue to try and win this championship for himself. And I think the most interesting part about all this, and we've kind of mentioned it quite a fair bit, is that Mazzomo has yet to actually win a race this season. He's not won a race. He's won a round, but he's not won a race. So he has had some incredible performances, finished on the podium, I believe, in at least 95% of the rounds that he has participated. That's the reason why he leads this championship on 904 points at this stage in time. Just at the halfway point though, 10 minutes into it at this point of the race. 10 minutes to go in race number 1 before we get to the finale of season 1, the 40-minute feature here tonight, where Lazarus and Harris will be trying to topple Simon Mazzomo. Pedersen's backed off a little bit. Quite possibly he might just be not wanting to push too hard, consolidating his P3, consolidating those points as well. As we said, he's not battling for a championship. He is out here for fun, and he's out here for a bit of confidence boost once again leading into next season. So it was good though. He was one of the first people to re-sign up for season 2, so he'll be back next season. He'll be back to have a charge of this championship and to really sink his teeth into it as well. Gardner, she can't do any more than what she's doing right now to try and win this championship. Mazzomo's doing everything he needs to at this point as well to be considered the champion at the end of proceedings as well. If we look further back in the field, Wilcox and Schultz still working together. Wilson and Cordier, they're going to start battling at some point. Duddle's beginning to catch up to the back of Schuler and the teammates ahead of him. But it is all consistent running for these drivers. They're not pushing too hard. They just want to try and get to a positive position here tonight. So as Cordier and Wilson enter the back straight section here, they continue to fight on for P8 on the road. So as we said though, we've got the RC team will be doing the maths in the background to give us concrete evidence on where and when we're going to be for penalties or for points or for who is going to be within this championship for the final race of the season. Let's have a quick look. Has anything happened in this race? It has. I believe that Mr. Matt Tesoriero has been given a penalty for that incident on lap 1. And because he's also left the server as well, he will likely get even more penalties next to his name, unfortunately. That's racing. Sometimes that is racing at the end of the day. Corey Lazarus and Daniel Harris. What a championship it has been for them. What an absolutely spectacular season for both. Both of them multiple-time race winners. Both of them are fighting their way forward and just trying to keep themselves within the hunt. And that's the most important thing here for this race. They can't do anything about the fact that Mazzomo's in P5. They've just got to try and beat him by those certain amount of positions to get themselves enough to win this championship here tonight. And I don't know if Laz would hand Harris the win in race 2, if that would mean that Harris could win the title. I'm not sure if he would do that, or if he would try and fight him for it and make him earn it at some point. But all will be told come the commencement of race 2 tonight for that 40-minute feature. Pedersen, though, is beginning to get up onto the back of Harris and Lazarus here. So he's starting to apply a little bit of pressure to the front runners, and maybe trying to force a mistake onto them as well, as Mazomo has gotten past Ellie Gardner. So all of a sudden, the pressure is now applied a little bit more on Harris, and it's only 2 positions worth of points for Daniel Harris now ahead of Simon Mazomo. So it would mean that Harris would have to beat him by 5 positions in race 2. If he would hope to win the championship, he would need Mez outside of the top 5 for that to happen. So, of course, anything can happen. It is Belle Isle. Anyone could end up in that position, including Mez. But he is driving one hell of a consistent race at the moment, as Lazarus and Harris continue on. There's Mez chasing them down, as we mentioned. If he beats either of them, if he beats Pedersen, well then Pedersen is out of the championship battle. He cannot win it in race 2, being that he is 18 points back already. Mr. Parfitt is back with us. And
hopefully.
Hopefully
I
you're
had to
back.
give it a kick and a smack, and hopefully it's all working at the moment here. So hopefully it will stay on and not have any more problems. I think it's just got a little bit warm here as well. But I was going to say, how's it been?
It's been good. So to give you the update, Mez has now passed Gardner, so he's P4. So it means that Harris now needs to beat Mazomo by 5 spots in race 2. And then I was compounding on the fact that if Mez somehow passes Lazarus, it would now actually mean that Lazarus is out of the championship hopes, because there's only 18 points of difference worth of positions in this race now that Tesseriero has pulled out. So because there's only 19 cars left, and Lazarus is losing by 18 points, if he gets into the 19 territory, then it makes it a lot harder for him to beat Mez in the title race. It would mean he'd need Mez to get penalties for that to happen.
Well, we knew Mez just needed to be consistent, and I think that's what he's going to continue doing here. And I don't think anybody's going to be able to beat him at the moment. I think he's just going to be doing what he needs to do and do his job, and that's what Mez has got to do. And we called it earlier on, and I don't think it's going to change throughout this race, to be honest.
Well, the X factor is, and we've already seen it happen to Daniel Harris and gave him a real scare, Mez could have a power outage. He could have an internet issue. It could have something that would remove him from race 2. If it removes him from race 2, it then comes down to Harris and Lazarus, of course. So anything can happen outside of even of the sim as well. You know, life can happen and you can get denied. But for Mez, he's done what he has to do tonight, and you know, with only 3.5 minutes to go in this race, Harris will know the magic number is 5 positions. He needs to beat him by 5. Pretty much, to make it easy maths for him, he needs to win and then have Mez finish 6 or below in race 2. That's what he has to do. It is a bit harder for him to do that, because if Mez has got Schultz and Wilcox ahead of him, well, they're just going to pull over and let him go, and that's 2 free positions, which is not against the rules at all. It's the team play. It's why it pays to have friends out on track. But that could be the real difference maker tonight on this championship, is if Mez can get into that top 5. If he gets into the top 5 at all, he's won. He can't lose at that point if he gets into the top 5. Again, barring any penalties coming his way.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? He would have gone into this with literally a crayon drawing and every possible scenario that he can possibly go through for Mez. And he's not stupid. So I think he's not going to take chances. He's got Schultz and Wilcox in and around him, giving him backup, which is what we asked for, and that's what he's got. And it's just down. The pressure isn't on him. This is the thing. The pressure is not on him. It's everybody in and around him, which is Harris and Laz on that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of pressure cooker that can happen when you come in as a championship leader. And I think the fact that he's come into this race with even such a small points gap, he's not breaking under the pressure that he's got. But again, as you said, the more pressure is on Harris and Lazarus because they actually have to beat him.
Mm-hmm.
They can't lose to him. If they lose to him, it makes their jobs so much harder. All they can do is beat him. They can't do anything else.
Yep.
All they can do is beat him and then hope and pray that the iRacing gods have a say in it and that they may play their hand, whether that's Mez has an internet issue, a power outage, or he gets involved in an incident and he drops to the back of the field. That's the only thing that they can now rely on. And at that point, you are relying on, on him drawing the short straw. That's what you're relying on. It's hopes and dreams, pretty much, is what you're relying on at that point.
Yeah, you're relying on somebody to make a mistake who has not made a mistake pretty much all night, all season, has not had no issues whatsoever, and you expect them or want them or need them to make a mistake. Well, unfortunately, it's not gonna happen,
you know what though, James? It just takes one. Just takes one mistake.
It does, but you've got one of the most consistent men in behind you here.
That's
Pedersen
right.
is having a right old go with Harris at the moment, so they're going to have to be a little bit careful there as well.
There's Mez.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Pedersen and Harris. Battle for position. If Pedersen gets this, the job becomes even harder for Harris tonight. He looks to hang it on the outside of 12. Oh my God, Pedersen's trying to push him! And Pedersen goes round. Could it be a penalty coming Harris's way? They will review in the RC booth as the white flag is thrown. Mez is now onto the podium as well, so it's only 1 point difference between Harris and Mez in this race. Means he would need to beat him by 6 positions in race number 2. Wow, wowee. It is a big moment. We're going to have to quickly try and break it down. It's the only way we can do it. We have to quickly, very, very quickly try and break this one down if we can. So let's go on board with Harris here. So he's on the outside. He's past him. Pedersen's then come back at him. He's against the wall, to be fair, so Harris has really got nowhere to go. We'll see what RC say about it, but if it's a points penalty, it could cost Harris here tonight. As Hughes, and then Pedersen's had another moment down at turn 4. So it's turn 5, sorry. So it's another moment for Pedersen, who's spun round. So the controversy and the chaos continues on this season. And why would it change just because it's the final race? I'm sure race control will break this down. They've allowed Pedersen to tow back to pits, I believe, to get him off the circuit. But for Corey Lazarus, he's done everything he needed to in this race. He's going to beat Simon Mazzomo by 2 positions to make the points difference 16 points into race 2. Harris is going to come home P2, 1 point gain on Mazzomo. Difference now is 6 leading into race number 2. Gardner P4. Championship hopes look to be over for Ellie Gardner. Craig Schultz in P5. Wilcox, Cordier, Wilson, Dan Patrick, and Devon Stove. He's on the provisional pole for race number 2 after finishing in P10. So I suppose we now kind of have to wait to see what race control say. They're going to have the 5-minute warm-up session as James has gone again. Let's see if we can get it fixed. We move on to the next race of the evening. A couple of moments time. We will have the 5-minute warm-up session to go through as they change over now. So whether Pedersen called it in or not, that may be the difference maker. So if he called it in, then that may change it up for us here at this point of the night. So 5-minute warm-up to come for these drivers. We're going to take this time to give thanks to our series sponsors, VRS, by going quickly to an ad break from them. So a big thank you to VRS for coming on board as our series sponsors this season. We so appreciate their support. We'll be back very soon with the final race of the season at Belle Isle for Season 1 of the VRS Virtual Racing School Porsche Cup Series. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
These are the VRS Dark Force Pro pedals. So it's a high-end product, stainless steel construction with an industrial aesthetic. Very adjustable. All 3 pedals, the pedal faces in terms of height, depth, angle are fully adjustable, and overall pedal angle is also adjustable. Now, if we look at the throttle pedal first, we have quite a unique design here. So we have a rodless spring, which doesn't quite look right to the eye, but functionally performs extremely well. Absolutely no friction whatsoever, so really nice smooth response. And we have a lot of adjustability here in terms of initial starting force, preload, and also overall force and pedal travel. So if we move on to the brake, we have similar levels of adjustability, a very high-end, heavy-duty construction. We have the blue spring on here at the moment, which tolerates a 65 kilogram maximum force. Also supplied is the optional red spring, which doubles that to 130 kilograms. These are linear springs, which is not normally how a real-life brake pedal feels. So we have this very clever mechanism on the back here, which basically turns that into a progressive, more realistic feeling, which gives you quite a decent bit of travel for low-level trail braking, and then more of a ramp up when you're really braking much harder. And we have this tie rod at the top, which is fully adjustable, along with preload, so you can really fine-tune that exact force shape to your preference. On the clutch, we have a similar level of adjustability in terms of pedal face and also the shape of the curve. So we try to emulate a clutch plate, which is stiff initially and then flattens out as the clutch gives way. So that's emulated here with a small amount of adjustability, including overall travel as well. So we're very happy with this product, and we hope you are too.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. A big thank you to VRS Virtual Racing School once again. Unfortunately, James is dealing with more tech issues at the moment with his PC, so whether he'll return to the comm box or not, I'm not sure. Completely understand though if he doesn't. Of course, he's dealing with his computer blacking out and blanking out and stuff like that, so hopefully that can be sorted for his sake, even if it's for him not to return tonight, but for him to be able to broadcast his own series throughout the week, then, you know, that's totally understandable as well. I do want to take this time, actually, just to give a massive thank you, firstly to James for stepping into the comms box with me this season. He had free time on Mondays to come and call the racing with me. We've both broadcasted across the metasphere, we'll say, across a multitude of series, whether it's for SRW or whether it's for James's broadcasting company, JP Broadcasting, or myself, or here in the IRWC with Infinity Broadcasting as well. So I just want to give a massive thank you to James for coming in and commentating with me this season when he could. Hopefully he's back next season in the co-coms box with me as well. It'd be great to have him back once again. So yeah, he's just told me it's not staying on. Massive thank you to James for stepping in this season with me. Really appreciate it to him. And if you guys want to help support James as well and support us here in Infinity Broadcasting, then please, if you're watching on Twitch, hit the follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe, the bell icon as well. If you want to support James, I so implore you to do, because his broadcasting network has got so much on offer for sim racing content across not just iRacing but other sims as well. So head over to JP Broadcasting on YouTube, give them a subscribe as well. They've got many talented producers and commentators from all around the globe, just producing some phenomenal racing broadcasts out of iRacing too. And if you want to get involved next season with us, please join the Discord. We've got it linked on our socials on the Facebook page too. All of our series sponsors have got we've got direct links to Real VRS in the description and to SPP Graphics as well. Big shout out to our series sponsors for this season for coming on board. VRS have been a massive help to us in getting prizes out to drivers. So go support VRS. Support us here in Infinity Broadcasting too. It'd be massively appreciated. Support SPP Graphics over on Facebook as well. They're down in the description. And then if you'd like to support Blackheart Designs, then yeah, send me a message and we'll get you an iRacing paint too. But race 2 is about to get underway. It is the final race. The final to determine it all. And this is how they're going to grid up for the final time in Season 1 of the VRS Porsche Cup Series. Devon Stove will start pole ahead of Dan Patrick on the front row of the grid. Paul Wilson, Nico Corgier for the top 4. Jaden Wilcox, Craig Schultz in P5 and P6 with Ellie Gardner and Simon Mazzomo in P8. Daniel Harris, Corey Lazarus then for the top 10 with Alex Schuler, David Duddle for the top 12. Shannon Fever, Johnny Rowe, the top 14 with Stuart Patterson, Jared McLeod, Adam Hughes, and Ben Pedersen at the back of the field. The important thing to remember is Wilcox and Schultz, P5 and P6, their championship leader teammates in P8. Mez just needs a top 6 finish in race 2 and he will win the championship. So that'll be 2 free positions for him. Corrected if they give it to him, he will be P6. I'm sure by the end of lap 1. So he's got those in his back pocket. He just has to keep it clean at the start of this race and not end up at the back to Simon Mazzomo. For Harris and Lazarus, they have got to try and fight through to get past. I have seen as well that Daniel Harris has been given a post-race points penalty for the contact with Ben Pedersen in race number 1. Now, I'm not sure how many points it would be. I'm going to assume it might be 5 points. Hopefully Race Control keep that updated for us. But this could now completely change the game in terms of where they need to be. If it's 5 points, it means that Harris has got to beat Mazzomo by 11 positions. Lights are up, though, for the final race of the season. And we are underway for the VRS Porsche Cup Series Season 1 finale as Wilcox has set it hard off the line. Gardner and Corgier trying to fight their way through. There's Harris. He's already passed Mazzomo. He's done what he needed to do. Mez is trying to fight hard to get up the field as well as they run down towards turn 3. For the first time in race 2, it's Stove and Patrick and Wilcox leading as the lock-up from Wilcox into turn 3. Harris has got cars round in front of him. It's a pile up at turn 3. They've somehow managed to get through. But it seems as well that Mazzomo is stuck in the pack of cars trying to get through at this stage as Toth's gone round again and they run up through turn 5. So Stove, Patrick, Gardner onto the podium at the moment. Wilcox and Lazarus for your top 5. Doing all they can at this stage. Wilson and Schultz are battling. Mazzomo's gotten past them, but only just here, as he's up now into P9 on the road. Pedersen's trying to fight his way through the field as well. There he is on the inside of Duddle as they fight their way forward on the infield. And this track as Wilson's been turned into the... No, it's Duddle, sorry. Being turned into the wall by McLeod. Duddle into the wall by McLeod. And as they continue on, does Duddle even have any damage? He very well may do. Stove and Patrick and Gardner, the podium at the moment. Wilcox, there's Lazarus, there's Harris, there's Patterson. There's Schuler, and there's Mazzomo. Schultz P10 at the moment. So Mazzomo P9 on the road. It is a 5-point post-race penalty just to confirm for Daniel Harris. As Gardner trying to get up the inside of Patrick. Job done for her. Lazarus and Harris fighting. So now what Harris needs to do. So it effectively puts the points at 11 points differential between him and Simon Mazzomo. So it means now he needs to beat... Mez needs to finish P12 or below. And Harris needs to win. So Harris needs to win this race, and he needs Mazomo outside of the top 11 cars on the road. And this has been an extraordinary storyline all throughout the season. An extraordinary storyline tonight as well, as they continue to fight. I believe James is trying to fight through getting his PC back up and running. Whether he comes back or not, I'm not sure. But the storylines have evolved so much this season. Through the controversy of Indianapolis last week, with the chaos of races prior. It only seems like yesterday we were at the Hockenheim ring for round 1. And I mean, we've got 36.5 minutes left with a pit stop included, so anything can happen in this race. Anything can occur. Mazomo, though, who's been the most consistent driver all season, has not yet garnered a penalty point to his name and has finished on the podium in at least one race every round thus far that he's participated. Well, he leads the championship, and at the moment, if they were to finish how they are, he would win it in what has been just extraordinary. He's won a round, and it wouldn't be the first time that someone's won a championship, as Hughes is getting going again. What has happened down here with McLeod, who appears to have been in the wars all day? This might have been self-inflicted from Hughes up at turn 5. So what's happened here? So he's run it round. Oh, and he's just spun it round there. It's a real shame. Great to have you out in the chat with us, Halil. Really appreciate it. I love Belle Isle as well. It is fantastic. Depending on the car track combo you can have here, it can be a phenomenal circuit for racing. And it also depends on how much luck you can have as well. And keeping it out of the wall as Gardner somehow caught the slide. How in the hell has she done that? She'll keep fighting forward, I'm sure. But P2 on the road, well, there's not much better that she can do at the moment. Lazarus and Harris hot on the heels of Jaden Wilcox as well. Elliot Price in the chat with us once again. I haven't driven Porsche Cup car either. Only really done test drives with the F4 on Ellie's iRacing account, but I know Ellie has a lot of fun driving them. They're such a fun car. If you can really get to grips with them, they are such a fun car to drive. As I said, been a pretty freaking awesome and action-packed season as far as racing goes. Ready to see what next season brings. I think it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. The calendar looks phenomenal as Wilcox and Patrick are battling for the podium position of P3. There's not much more that can be happening right now, but some phenomenal door-to-door action with Lazarus and Harris, two of the championship contenders coming into tonight's race as they fight their way forward. Harris up the inside of Patrick and Lazarus as well. He wanted the double at 7. Couldn't quite get it that time. And Lazarus holds position ahead in P4. He's not making it easy for him as Nico Cordier has had an incident in the background. He's still rolling though. That's fine. We've just got to be cautious because any incident that can occur could bring out the safety car as the concrete barriers may decide who wins it all in the end. There's Mez, P7 at this stage. Just has to keep it clean and consistent. Just needs to keep it out of the wall for the next 34 or so minutes. And he'll be a champion come the end of this race as well. Well, to give you the hot ticket here, Halil, as I mentioned all season, when Adelaide arrives in iRacing, it will replace Belle Isle. So the way that we've run things, to give you the update, if it's the first time you're seeing the series, we will always start at the Hockenheim ring. We'll always end at Belle Isle. As Ellie Gardner is fighting for the lead, and she's gone round at turn 3. Gardner off the podium as Lazarus and Wilcox battle it out as well. It is so intense at the moment. So as they battle through, so to give you the update, we'll always start at the Hockenheim ring. We'll always end at Belle Isle. The asterisk on that is when Adelaide is released, when Adelaide is released, it will replace Belle Isle as the final round of the season and will forever remain the final round of the season. As Shannon Fever has gone off, where is he? He's off he's in the escape road at turn 3. So not the position you want to be in. There's Stove, there's Lazarus, Wilcox as well, and then Harrison behind them, Patrick and Gardner, and there's Mazomo. Trying to fight forward at this stage. There's not much more he needs to do. He's in a championship winning position at the moment. And it has been an extraordinary season. Not just tonight at Belle Isle, not just last week at Indy, but the whole season as well. And next season's calendar, it's getting tight here for Mez. Next season's calendar is an absolute barn burner. It is looking phenomenal. The first thing we did was we kept ourselves open for what could be released. And it has been adjusted for next season. No more Montreal for season 2. We're now going to the Bend instead of Montreal. As Stuart Patterson has gone round at turn 2. Patterson is around, trying to get this thing back again. How has this happened to Patterson down here? So as he entered 1 and then into 2 there. Oh, he just got it loose over the bump. Schultz had nowhere to go and got caught up in the moment. It's a real shame, but this is really heating up at the front. Harris with Wilcox right in front of him. Wilcox trying to play the front gunner for Mez. But Wilcox would also not want to be involved in another incident with Harris as a championship contender. After the controversies of last week at Indianapolis, he wants to stay out of it if he can. Oh, hello, SMP will be fantastic. There's been rumors that it's been scanned. It's not quite confirmed, but there are definitely rumors that SMP has been scanned. I mean, I'd love to have it here in iRacing. It'd be phenomenal. So Daniel Harris, hot on the heels of Jaden Wilcox at the moment. He can't do much more than just try and get past as Lazarus sets the fastest lap of the race. 1:30.7. That time by for Corey Lazarus. In what has been an exceptional run for him this season. He can't do much more tonight. And then Mez back in P6 is in the wars. Look who's right on his tail. Ben Pedersen, the X Factor tonight. One of the drivers who looked to be a championship contender before an unfortunate round at Road Atlanta, which took him out of the championship fight. So he's here tonight for personal glory. He's here to try and fight his way forward as well. And just try and maybe spice things up as best he possibly can. So for Pedersen, nothing's on the line for him. For Mazzomo, well, it's a championship that's on the line. I don't know if he realises that Harris has got the penalty. If he doesn't realise that Harris has got the penalty, then he's trying to hold on to P6 because that's what he knows he needs. Oh, Gardner though, and Mazzomo into the wall. Gardner and Mazzomo into the wall, and Mazzomo is dropping spots. Is that car got damage? In a wild moment this season, Simon Mazzomo and Ellie Gardner have come together inside of the top 10, and the championship winning prospect of Mazzomo has had a moment here. What has happened here? So he's up the inside, or the outside, sorry, of Gardner. Has he caused the contact, or was it Gardner that caused it? Let's watch as they come through into the quote-unquote James Scott Fountain section and just try and pick this apart if we can. So she got a bit loose. Gardner got a bit loose. Mez on the outside. Oh, and then he made contact. So if RC determined that that is Mez's fault and he gets a penalty, he could very well kiss this championship goodbye. Oh my God, James and I spoke about it all evening. It takes one mistake. You can be mistake-free all season long. And just in a matter of moments, it can completely change. It can completely blow up in your face. McNamara in the chat, Zig should have zagged. That's right. Oh, it's wheel to wheel. We'll see what RC say. They'll break it down at the most minute of details. As Daniel Harris has gone into the wall! Daniel Harris is in the wall, and he's just towed it back to pit lane! I think he's given up! Harris has given it up! In a wild scene, in a wild moment, and it was contact, I think, with Jaden Wilcox again! So what has happened with Wilcox and Harris? So he's up the inside of Wilcox. He gave him a little nudge. Oh, and then he's put himself into the wall because I think he knows he was at fault and he was going to get a penalty. I don't know if he knows that Mez could be on for a penalty at this stage. It's wild scenes. It is wild scenes. So Daniel Harris is towed back to pit lane. And that means he's disqualified from race 2 here this evening, meaning he will garner no points and can now not win the championship. A real shame. A real shame there for Daniel Harris. I'm waiting to see if Race Control have got anything to say about Gardner and Mazzomo. Whether it was called in or not, I'm not 100% sure. So now, the position that we're now in is Lazarus is leading. So Lazarus came into this particular race. He came into this race. Let's have a look here. He came into this race 926 points. Mazzomo came in on 942, so there was 16 points separating Lazarus and Simon Mazzomo. So for Lazarus to now win the championship, well, he needs to win. He wants to win the race. He's in the lead. Very rarely does he give up a race win like this. To win the championship, he needs Mez to finish 17th or lower. And at the moment, we have got 17 cars left in the session. 17 cars left as Wilcox enters pit lane. And when the drivers of Wilcox and Schultz are still out there, so if they needed to, they could give Mez the position if they had to, which Wilcox has just pulled into pit lane. But man, oh man, what a scenario we're in as Duddle has gone off the road. I believe that there is turn 4. No, that's turn 3. So he just straight lined it. Didn't damage the car, but he definitely straight lined it. So I've just seen as well, Daniel Harris is back out on track. Now, I don't know if he towed or if he actually got to the... if he actually got to a danger spot. Oh, he's just locked it up into turn 3, actually. And now he's gone back. So I think they've just told him that he's disqualified, unfortunately. So Lazarus, Pedersen, Stove on the podium moment. Mazzomo in P4. It is such a wild last race, Elliot. It is such a wild last race. The game has now changed completely on where we stand. Your heart has to go out to Harris because it was so much pressure to be under. And to make that mistake, and then, you know, it's a real shame. It is a real shame on that one. So it's but that's racing. That is racing. So I'm keeping an eye on the incident report to see if Gardner called in the moment with Mez. If she did, then, you know, there's still a story to be told, and that's that Mez could have a drive-through or he could have a points penalty. At this point, she's back in P13. It's more than likely going to be a drive-through penalty for Simon Mazzomo. So depending on when you choose to apply that to him or when they get to it, that'll really determine, you know, at which points, you know, does this happen. So my arms are up in the air. I don't know. I don't know if Lazarus is going to win. I don't know if Mez is going to win. Those are the drivers that are still left in it. Lazarus and Mazzomo are the two last championship contenders in this race. Gardner, she can't win, unfortunately. She's mathematically not a chance without them getting post-race penalties. And then, unfortunately, Daniel Harris is out, which is a real shame. And I implore Daniel to come back next season I know he was thinking about it. I implore him to return next season and to have another go, because he has been such a phenomenal driver in our field, and I really want to see him bring the fight to Lazarus and Pedersen and to Mez as well. You know, it's it is. It's a real shame. It's a real shame. So, regardless though, Lazarus leads the way. Pedersen P2, Stove P3, and the championship prospect, the champion-elect, Simon Mazzomo, P4 at this stage of the race. Up 4 in this race as well. Ernie Toth up the most positions. He's up 11 in this race thus far. Been a solid effort from him. He's just on the tail of Johnny Rowe at the moment. Ellie Gardner trying to get past Adam Hughes. I think may have had another moment down there at turn 5. Shannon Fever, Craig Schultz, Dan Patrick, Paul Wilson, Jaden Wilcox in P17. Duddle is just about to exit pit lane. So if we get another driver who pulls out of this race, and it gets to the point of there are only 16 positions left, it means that the only way that Lazarus could beat Mazzomo is if Mazzomo gets a points penalty and he finishes at the back. That is the case here tonight. That is the case on how could Lazarus win this championship at this point. We'll see. We'll see what goes down. We'll see what RC say. We'll see if anyone called it in. Gardner maybe didn't want to call it in. She doesn't want to cost Mez the championship maybe. I don't know. She's in pit lane though at the moment. And I mean from our shots of what we saw in our small little moment. Hello in the chat. Is this every Monday night? I think I could have a steer of these Cooler Master Porsche. Sounds good, lol. Yes, they are every Monday. Hello. This is the final race for Season 1 at the moment. Season 2 is starting up on the 16th of June. And I'll give you an even better piece of information here. I'll send you the Discord link. There you go, hello. I've just sent you the Discord invite link into your Discord. So you can join, and then you can get yourself signed up for next season. It's a $20 entry fee for Season 2. Elliot saying redemption arc for Harris next season. I hope so. That's what I hope for. I hope that he comes back. I hope the redemption arc happens and that he can fight for this championship and he can redeem what was Season 1 and become a champion in Season 2. So Lazarus, who has really been on the precipice of pace all season, is at the front of the field, 4 seconds over Ben Pedersen, Devon Stove P3, Simon Mazzomo in P4, Alex Schuler P5, Johnny Rowe P6, Toth, Patterson, McLeod, Hughes. Drivers still yet to pit though as well in this race. Whilst we do begin to get into the realm of pit stops happening, we may just have a little look at next season's calendar as well. So let's bring that up very, very quickly here. Let's have a look at next season's calendar. So this is what is on offer. Actually, no, let's update that because that's the old variant of the calendar. Let's get the new variant up and running. Into here we go. So next season's calendar. This calendar is finalized. We finalized it. We have released it. Sign-ups are open. Hockenheimring will start us once again for a feature race next season. So a 60-minute feature race to start out the season in Season 2 at the Hockenheimring. Then we're in for a rush round at the Red Bull Ring course. The 2 15-minute sprints and the 30-minute feature. It's a full reverse grid for race 2. It's a reverse top 10 for race 3. Silverstone Historic Circuit for a sprint round in round 3. It's the same format as this one here. 20-minute sprint, 40-minute feature with a reverse top 10. Round 4 out at Winton for a rush round. Round 5 for a feature at the Bend. That replacing Montreal in next season's calendar. Bathurst for a rush round at round 6. Okayama round 7 for a sprint. Interlagos at round 8 for the feature. Long Beach for a sprint round at round 9. And then our new race format for the final round of the season. The finale format for round 10 at Belle Isle. 2 30-minute feature races at Belle Isle. So it is going to be an immense season next season. As we said, sign-ups are open now. $20 Australian is the sign-up fee. Details can be found in our Discord of how you can sign up. And I'm going to put the Discord into the chat as well. So if you want to come and join and you want to get involved, please do. Please come and get involved next season, because it is going to be an absolute cracker of a season next season here. We've also got coming up next season, as we have previously mentioned as well, sign-ups have also gone live for the Rodnock Cup. We'll be going racing in the ARCA cars, the brand new ARCA cars, around some phenomenal ovals next season. Charlotte Motor Speedway will start us off for 99 laps, 140 laps of Martinsville, 90 laps of Texas. We then do one road course that season, that is Watkins Glen Cup Circuit for 30 laps. Michigan for 69 laps for round 5, 200 laps of Langley for round 6, 50 laps of Dega for round 7, 85 laps of Phoenix for round 8, 80 laps of Atlanta for round 9, and then 50 laps to end out the season at Daytona on the 29th of August. So, big season of Rodnock Cup coming your way, as well as Shannon Fever has had a moment. Where is he at this stage? He's down at turn 7, so I'm going to assume he's just straight-lined it, as Mazomo is in. So Mazomo in pit lane for his pit stop here tonight. Now, I'm unsure if... I don't know if Race Control have actually looked at the incident or not. It is lock setups. We run the iRacing fixed setups, Halil. So we run the iRacing fixed. If there's a track-specific setup from iRacing, we use it. If not, I believe we're moving to just using medium downforce for a circuit that doesn't have a setup. So hopefully the Bend has one. Otherwise, we'll be running medium downforce for that track. We also take into account, well, if there isn't one, which is best suited, is it baseline, medium downforce, high downforce, low downforce, etc. As Patrick Hughes and Wilson battle on inside of the top 10. Lazarus leads the way. Pedersen, Stove, Schuler, Rowe, top 5. Mazomo, P6 is pitted in this race. McLeod, Hughes, Patrick Wilson, Fever, Toth, Gardner, Patterson. Wilcox and Duddle in P16. Craig Schultz is in pit lane, and he's been in pit lane for quite a few laps. And I have a feeling it's maybe race over for him, and he may have done this to guarantee Simon Mazomo the championship. Team tactics from 9.5 Sim Sports. I'm sure maybe Sean McNamara has been over the radio and just said, hey boys, we need one more car out of this race, and he wins. And maybe Craig Schultz has put his hand up to back out, as I think Wilcox is now in pit lane for his stop. But we'll see if he returns to circuit as well. So for Mazomo, if this is true, and if Schultz and Wilcox are out, then Mazomo will be the champion. But P5 at the moment for Mez. Top 4 cars yet to pit as Rowan Hughes come into pit lane. 25.5 minutes into this race. That's right. No, eating cake on the go. All right, Mac. All right. I just didn't know, because I knew you were watching. I didn't know. Maybe you maybe gave Craig a little whisper. Hey, just park that thing up. You can win the title if you park it up. I don't know if you did that or not, but nah, it's fair. It's fair, Mac. Great to have you watching along as well. Great to have you watching along with us. It'd be great to get more crossover of supercars drivers into the Porsche Cup cars. Lazarus and Pedersen are in. Devon Stove, does he follow? He comes round the final corner. He is coming into pit lane at a rate of knots, mind you. Schuler's coming up as well. So to give everyone the rundown, if this is your first time watching too, well, we do offer our drivers in the Porsche Cup Series. If this can sway you anyway to come and sign up. Top 3 positions for the round results. So that's top 3 drivers of the round based on points. Get given VRS subscription codes for 3 months competitive subscription, 2 month competitive subscription, 1 month competitive subscription as well. Oh, love to see it, Sean. Love to see it. As Lazarus comes back out of pit lane in the lead, Mez gets past Pedersen, gets past Schuler. Is he going to get past Stove? He may not. He's not going to, as Pedersen has dropped out. Pedersen is not returning to track. And I wonder if he may have just been booted because he's not out on track. So if this is the case, and Pedersen is out and he does not return, then that will be the title for Simon Mazzomo, barring penalties. Barring any penalties, Mazzomo will be the champion-elect. And with 12 and a half minutes to go. So, if he is, this is now... Yeah, Pedersen's not back yet. He's not back in. So if this is it, this is now going to be... this is now going to be pretty much just wait till the end of the race and he'll just cut laps pretty much to get there, and it'll be his swan song. It'll be his finale for the season, if you will, for Simon Mazzomo in what has been a crucial night for a lot of drivers. Oh, no, you won't, Halil. No, you won't. There's no ABS in these cars. No ABS, no traction control. There is downforce, but there's no ABS or TC. Jaden Wilcox into the chat. I'm going to assume, Jaden, this is strategic for you guys to have pulled out of the race just to give him the positions that he needed. Confirm or deny is up to you, but I'm just going to assume. I'm going to run with that, actually, that you guys have just pulled out to give him the minimum amount of positions he would need to win. So with 13 cars left on the grid, it is mathematically impossible for Corey Lazarus to beat Simon Mazzomo on the road for the championship by positions. What he can do to beat him is if Mez does not make 75%. That would be 32 minutes into this race. If he does not make 75%, he does not garner any points, and Lazarus would win. If he gets disqualified, he would not garner any points, and Lazarus would win. As Jared McLeod has had an incident. What has happened to him? It's not even going to show me. So I don't know what's happened here to Jared McLeod. Corey Lazarus is leading the way. Devon Stove P2. Mazzomo, the champion-elect. We did your part, that's all you say. Fair enough. That's fair enough. Did your part, and now you sit back and you watch your teammate win a championship. As I said, barring him not making 75%, which is 32 minutes, barring him getting disqualified, barring him getting points penalties, not much more can be done for Corey Lazarus to beat Simon Mazzomo here this season, and he'll do it without getting a race win all season long. Now, he could win this race, and that would then completely change that stat. But if he doesn't, for whatever reason, I mean, he is hot on the heels of Devon Stove, and if Lazarus, unfortunately disconnects, then for Mazzomo, he could then do it with a single win to his name. So, Lazarus leads, Stove, Mazzomo, top three, Schuler, Patrick, Wilson, Toth, Gardner, Rowe. McLeod's in pit lane and inside the top 10, but may drop position here to Stuart Patterson. David Duddle and then Shannon Fever are the last cars on the road at the moment. Jaden saying had more to tick off, but can't help being turned into a wall. I'm not going to comment too much on that one there, Jaden. As things happen on the road and as admin, we will be looking into things, but as a broadcaster, I can't really talk about that too much. And I'm going to assume I've just seen a video from Ben Pedersen. Well, something's happened for Ben Pedersen. I'm just watching it right now. Oh, his VR. His VR has had an issue, and I think he might be out of the race, so that's taken him out of it. That's what's happened to Ben Pedersen. He's still out, technically. Adam Hughes is also out as well. So Lazarus, Stove, Mazzomo, the top three. Schuler, Patrick, the top five. Wilson, Toth, Gardner, Rowe, McLeod, Patterson, and then Duddle and Fever. So obviously in a perfect world, we would have had this championship come down to the very last lap where they're battling for positions. Someone needs to get one thing, the other person needs to get another, and they clash, and then that's how it ends. We don't want a championship to end like this. It's going to. That's racing. It happens. It's happened in a multitude of series. Not just this one. It's happened in so many series before now. We look ahead. We move on. Season 2. Gonna be incredible. Gonna be amazing. The calendar, I think, is brilliant. Not just because I came up with the calendar alongside the other admin, but I think it's going to be amazing for racing. It's going to be amazing to give opportunity to drivers to maybe drive some tracks that they haven't driven these cars at before, plus also some old favourites, plus brand new the Bend for these cars too. It's going to be a whirlwind of a season. There's a change in the points system as well coming. More points on offer for every single race. So it means that there's an opportunity, if you have a poor run, that someone else could have a poor run and you can come back into it as well. So it's looking like, this was an incredibly close season. Incredibly close. We came into it where there was 7 points on the board between drivers. And then Belle Isle, whether it's through driver decision or through the track's decision, has completely changed that up. And it's completely flipped it on its head in some form or fashion. The thing that hasn't changed is that Simon Mazzomo is the champion-elect. He was the champion-elect coming into this race. He's the champion. He looks to be the champion-elect leaving this race as well. So, in what has been an incredibly consistent season for Simon Mazzomo, to never win a race all season long, never won. Hats off to him. This has been incredible for him as well. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. I love it. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be fantastic. On to next season. Next season, as I said, going to be immense, going to be spectacular. The calendar is looking brilliant. We do know one thing. Is that Season 3... Yes, we're planning ahead for Season 3 still. Don't worry about that as Mez goes for the move up the inside of Stove for P2. And it's P2 on the road for Mazzomo. It's 22.9 seconds up the road to Lazarus. But the one thing I can say is for Season 3 is that Montreal will be on the calendar for Season 3. Because we dropped it for the Bend this season, it will be on the calendar for Season 3. So I can confirm that. I can also confirm that if they are released for Season 4 of iRacing, which they said in the dev update that they're aiming for it, if they are released for the Season 4 update, Mexico City and Miami Street Circuit will also be on the calendar for Season 3. They're the only confirmations that we have for you, aside from Belle Isle and Hockenheim, of course. But those three circuits penciled in at the moment. That, again, if Mexico City and Miami is announced for Season 4. If they're not announced, then they're not on the calendar. But if they are, they will be there. And you can guarantee Montreal's going to be there. We made that decision. When we replaced it with the Bend, we said, right, Montreal, Season 3. That's the first track on the list. So we'll see how else it pans out and how else it gets shaped. Less than 5 minutes left of Season 1 of the VRS Porsche Cup Series. And it has been an incredible season thus far. Corey Lazarus leads the way, 23.6 seconds at the moment over championship-elect Simon Mazzomo. Devon Stove in P3. My cat's at the door and wanting to get out. Why are you wanting to leave? Get out. There we go. Schuller P4, Wilson in P5, Patrick Toth, Gardner, Johnny Rowe, Jared McLeod, the top 10, Patterson, Duddle, and Fever for the top 13 of this race. The only 13 drivers left remaining on the streets of Detroit, which has been Motor City madness all throughout this race. Dan Patrick's down pit lane as well. It has been Motor City madness all evening. It has been chaos. It's been controversy. And nothing, barring some things, have been truly decided. As we said, if you're thinking about signing up for next season, whether it's you're signing up for a second season or you're signing up for your first season, I implore you, come and race with us, because it has been an incredible season of racing thus far. And I tell you what, we've got one person in the green room who is signed up for next season, and that is Ben Pedersen. Ben, notice you joined the green room. Just for a quick chat very quickly, you've signed up for Season 2. An unfortunate tech issue is taken out of this race tonight, but are you excited for next season?
Indeed. I've had a few tech issues over the years with VR, but that's the nature of the game. Mate, I just want to give you a shout out though for a good season, man. It's been run really well, and I've enjoyed it for the most part.
Thank you, really appreciate it, Ben. Hopefully, I don't think you garnered any points to any penalties tonight, did you?
No, which is unusual.
No, but that's fine because it means that because you haven't, it means that as long as you can keep it clean round one of next season, you won't, because you're on the cusp of getting a round ban because of the license points.
I don't know.
But I mean, if you keep round one clean, you'll drop the round one points from this season, so that's fine.
I should be fine, mate. I can be clean.
That's
Just,
good then.
it depends on my mood for the day, to be honest.
Oh well, bring a towel. At least you'll be able to dry yourself off afterwards.
Maybe some tissues, not the towel.
Well, mate, we're excited to have you on track next season. We're excited to have you racing as well. Hopefully, we can obviously interest more people to come racing with us next season. I mean, we had 41 drivers sign up this season. Obviously, didn't have 41 cars on track each week, but across the season we had 41 drivers. Hopefully next season we can meet the quota of 45, which is the maximum. Maybe even have some on the wait list.
They might need to split up maybe qualifying as well if it gets that busy. Can you imagine qualifying with 45 cars at Detroit?
Oh, it's been done in other series, but probably not. It would likely be.
Wow.
It would likely be maybe for the finale race. It would be half an hour of qualifying, split into two groups for 15 minutes each. Maybe that would be the case, but we'll have to investigate it going into next season as well. But it's been great to have you on track, Ben. Even through the tests that you've had this season, to keep going has been very commendable as well. As I said earlier in the broadcast, Daniel hasn't signed up for next season. I hope he does, because I hope that he can try and get some redemption in there for next season and really drive a solid championship.
He won't be able to resist.
Hey?
I'm going to give him a ribbing. He won't be able to resist signing up.
Oh, surely not. I'm sure he'll calm himself down. He'll think over it, and hopefully he comes in and drives this next season. Because as I said, he drove an incredible season. Even though you guys had a little cuddle from the get-go at Hockenheimring, you both drove a great season. And sometimes it's racing. It just doesn't go your way.
Oh yeah, it's always fun. I get over it within 5 minutes usually. I might whinge about stuff for a while, but really I'm not mad. So you're only mad in the moment.
No, that's right. Well, we've only got we've got no time left because Corey Lazarus is about to come across the line to take the final win of the season. Thanks so much for coming over to chat to me, Ben. We'll chat in the off season, and look forward to seeing you out on track next season.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Hamish.
Thank you. So Lazarus takes the final win for Season 1 of the VRS Porsche Cup Series, but traversing around now in P2 on the road, not taking a single victory this season. He's taken a round win, and now he's taken a championship win as well for 9.5 Sim Sports in the 954 car. The Racecraft Simulations entry. Simon Mazzomo is the Season 1 VRS Porsche Cup Series champion here this evening in what has been an incredible season to date. It has been absolutely spectacular as the burnouts begin for Mazzomo. It was an incredible effort. No penalty in the end for him, and he now, he's now a champion. And it was a tough fought championship for him. He's managed to make it pay off. But in the end, the cream rises to the top. And in the end, it has gone the way of Simon Mazzomo in an incredible effort. And there's nothing more that can really be said of that. It is an incredible effort from Simon to get this job done. And hats off have to go to him, because what a race, what a season. There was controversy in there, which you often get in racing. There was high intense moments for drivers out there as well. But in what has been just something that we are so humbled by. We are so proud of, that everyone has wanted to get involved. We are so proud of everything that this series has become, and we are so proud of the efforts of our drivers, and we are so proud to say that for season 1, Simon Mazzomo won 1,021 points, has taken out the season 1 championship. And just so then anyone out there can get a photo if they wish, we'll resize that. We'll try and get a better shot of him getting his burnouts in. Devon Stove and Corey Lazarus are in the green room to have a chat to me as well. We'll begin with Devon Stove. We'll get the B-roll happening first of all. Of course, in what was a wild race. Absolutely wild was this one. But we'll first chat to Devon Stove, P3 on the road tonight. Devon, an incredible effort from you. P3 on the road, I believe your first podium this season. Congratulations. What a better time to get it than the final round. Talk us through the difficulties of dealing with the Motor City madness that was Belle Isle.
It's always interesting. I think I found the outside wall more times than I can count. But a bit of fun. Now,
how pumped are you now after this season? Because obviously there's a few growing pains that can come from a league's first season. After what's happened this season, finishing it off with a podium, does it get you hungry for more in season 2, and in the hopes that you could maybe get more of those podiums and fight your way forward in the standings?
Oh yeah, I'm a little bit 50-50 on whether I'll be running next season or not. So haven't decided yet, but it's a good way to end on a high, that's for sure.
Well, we hope we can see you out on track next season, because you guys have actually had some incredible performances thus far in season 1. And even with the calendar that's been announced for next season, I think there's going to be opportunities for great races as well. What do you think that maybe, just to break down your season a little bit better, what do you think you maybe could have done better in or improved upon, or what do you think maybe could have gone differently for you that might have found you even just a little bit higher in the championship?
If I didn't have to go away for work for 3 weeks, that would have been ideal.
That's probably a good point to have, actually. Yeah, no, that's very fair.
I think I was running 6th or 7th in the points before I had to miss a bunch of rounds, so it was going okay. But it was also the first full season I've done in this car in a long time. So I felt like I slowly got faster as the season went on.
Well, I think you had some very good performances in there. You've ended it off with one of the best tyres you possibly could in a podium at Belle Isle. Thank you so much, not only to you but your team as well, of having the faith in us to provide a good league to race in, at least for one season, if it is only one season. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support of you guys, showing up and racing when you can as well. Devon, let us know, helps get you and Iridium Sim Sports out on track. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well? For myself and the rest of the league, congratulations on your P3 here in the feature race out at Detroit Belle Isle.
Yeah, just big thanks to you guys for putting on this series. It's been good. We've had sort of 4 or 5 guys turn up regularly, and everyone's enjoyed it, that's for sure. As for our team, just everyone at Iridium Sim Sports who gets in, and we have some bit of fun and a little bit competitive, but more fun. Aside from that, just sharp apparel and the other boys on board. And I'd just like to shout out to the commentator who called me slow in round 2 on the reverse grid, because I
was that James
hold onto a podium this week. Yeah, I think one of them called me slow.
It's either me or James. It wasn't
you.
So it was a grovelly English man. Then it's James.
Yeah, that's right. That was him. Yeah, so proved him wrong this week.
Well, he's dealing with tech issues right now, so maybe that's the reverse karma. I don't know, but
the police guy just needed him not to be there, and I could hold on.
Well, Devon, really appreciate you coming and have a chat to me. Hopefully, we can see you next season. If not, hopefully we can see you racing back with us again in future seasons. But wherever you are racing, best of luck in your sim racing efforts, and hopefully you can get better and better, and I don't know, maybe win yourself a championship somewhere, wherever that may be.
Yeah, we'll try our best. Cheers for that, mate.
No
Appreciate
worries.
the season.
Appreciate you, Devon. Thank you so much. Next up, we've got our race winner here this evening, Corey Lazarus, on the road. Corey, another race win for you. Another good solid chunk of points. I believe you got the double done tonight at Belle Isle, so another round win as well. Just not enough to get past Mez, and you had a fantastic season, won the most races out of anybody, but unfortunately just 2 poor rounds maybe soured that a little bit. But regardless of that, I think you can hold your head high. You had a very, very solid season. You kept the fight going to the very end, and Mez won it on consistency alone. If not for that, you would have won on pure pace alone. So I think you guys are definitely up there. But talk me through it, mate, because what a season it's been of highs and lows, and not winning the championship but winning the round. Does that hold you steady still, or are you hungry now to try and get something more? If the scheduling persists and you're able to come racing with us next season.
Hey, thanks, Hamish. Yeah, I mean, I'm not disappointed. Come second, I'm really, really happy for Mez. I know how much hard work that he puts into it, and you can't fault that consistency, that old adage, to finish first you must finish. Stood true this season for Mez. I don't think he had a bad race all season, or maybe he had one, but he was never far off a podium all season. So
he finished, I believe, and I'll have to double check it. I'm pretty sure at every round he raced in, he finished on the podium in at least one race. So he missed one round, which I think was Sachsenring. I think every other round he was on the podium for at least one race of the weekend. So he was, pure consistency.
That's a deserved champion. It's unbelievable how consistent he was. Big congrats! I'm really happy it went to Mez. He's a really good bloke, so super stoked for him.
So then, I think the main question is, if you are able to race with us next season based on the European calendars of things, how are you going to get better at those rush rounds, do you reckon? Because they really became your almost your chink in the armour for some points of this season. How do you think you're going to be able to better contest in those races? Do you think it's going to be going for more consistent points instead of going for race wins, or how do you think you're going to be able to do better in those sorts of races if you are able to race with us next season?
It's a good question. Look, I'm just looking at the calendar now and back to those 3 rush rounds. Unfortunate in Sachsenring, I got taken out from somebody else's crash that was totally, out of my control. The next rush round at Sandown, can't really blame anybody else but myself for that. It was just a bit of a sloppy round. And then again at Road Atlanta, the next rush, I got taken out by someone else, which was sort of out of my control as well. So I'm not overly sure. I don't think I'll change too much. I mean, you're in it to win it. Maybe if there is one learning from those rush rounds, it's perhaps we could just ease up a 10% in the early laps, and try and finish it, not try and fight tooth and nail for every millimeter, which is pretty much what we did all season. And perhaps it would have put us in a better stead, but it is what it is.
It's hard though to break that rhythm of fighting, for every millimeter, isn't it? And trying to take a step back and almost bring an endurance race mentality to it of it's better to keep it clean early and try and fight for it at the end. But I suppose especially with those rush rounds, if you win race 1 and you're at the back in race 2, you've only got 15 minutes to, get up positions. Maybe in those races the aim becomes where you try and aim for P10s, then you get points, but then you also get pole for race 3 where there's more points in offer. I don't know, but I think
a good way to look at it for sure.
I think it's a real balancing act. Jaden's just pointed out, is this your first championship loss in quite a while, Corey?
On the spot here, I don't think so. Like, I'm not winning any of the European championships. GSRC, I've gone back to back in those 2. I haven't won AOG. No, I don't think so. I've lost way more than I've won. Just we're still on like an upward trajectory in terms of pace and skill and all the rest. So hopefully there's more winning to come. But no, I've definitely lost a lot more than I have won.
Well, I think, irregardless, you should hold your head high. You've had a phenomenal season. If one or two races went differently, then, we could be talking to Mez right now and be talking to you in a moment's time. But, it's an incredible season. You did all you could in the end to try and beat him. There's not much more you can do when his teammates pull out of the race to give him the minimum amount of positions he needs to win the titles. So it's, that's the strategy they played, and that's the strategy that paid off. Even, irregardless, he didn't even end up at the back of the field. He was still on the podium. But, you drove a great season. Hopefully we can see you back next season. Otherwise, hopefully we see you in future seasons when the schedule persists. Let us know, Corey, who you want to give a shout out to, any sponsors or friends or family that may be watching. And thank you so much for participating this season and giving us, your vote of confidence to put on a good series and come racing with us. And hopefully we can see you on track with us again sometime soon.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Big thanks to VRS for sponsoring this series, and yourself, Hamish, and Mr. JP Broadcasting as well for jumping on board. It was really cool watching the broadcast back. You guys did a superb job. Really well done. From home, just want to thank my wife and my mother-in-law and father-in-law. They watch all the races. And big thanks to the rest of the competitors, I guess, and big congratulations to Mez. Superb job all season, deserved champion, and also it's his birthday. So happy birthday, Mez.
Is it actually his birthday? Because there are some teams that play a joke on us and they say it is their birthday.
Well, he just disclosed that in the Discord to me personally, so I'll have words to him if he's not, but otherwise I believe it is his birthday today.
Okay. Well then, we're going to have to get some candles out for him. I'm not going to sing happy birthday to him. That is the worst thing I could ever do. That would probably ruin my commentary career if I did that, but regardless. Thank you so much, Corey. Best of luck in your next racing endeavour, wherever that may be, whether it's with us here in the IRWC or whether it's with another league somewhere else. But we'll be keeping a keen eye on you wherever you are racing, and we'll see if you can win yourself a championship.
Awesome. Thanks, Hamish. Much appreciated, mate. Thanks for
Corey.
the season.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
See you, bud.
Next up, though, ladies and gentlemen, he came into this final round with the orange number. Jaden Wilcox has confirmed it, so I'm going to claim it's true. Turned 51 today. That's not the one we want. We want this one right here. Our Season 1 champion on 1,021 points. Consistency is key. I've got people telling me it's your birthday, Mez, so if it is actually your birthday, happy birthday. It is not. That is a cruel joke to play on me on the last round of the season.
No. Unfortunately, I can't confirm it is my birthday. So.
Well, what a way to spend your birthday winning a championship. Don't worry, I'm not going to pull a Rankin. I'm not going to sing your happy birthday on stream for your sake and mine. But congratulations. There is no other words that can be said barring congratulations. You were ultra consistent all season. I think I'm pretty sure, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or not, you finished on the podium in at least one race in every round that you participated in. That is extraordinary.
I think that is correct. Yeah. I think so.
So you finished the season with possibly the most podiums out of anyone. Didn't win a single race, mind you, but you did win a round. But it's just a phenomenal season on the board. No matter what controversies we had, whether it was last week in Indy or this week at Belle Isle or earlier in the season, you yourself kept your championship clean and consistent. You kept yourself without a single penalty all season. No penalty to your name in terms of loss of points. And I think that's what we kind of wanted to promote, was clean, consistent racing. Yes, we could have come into this round if we had a bunch of points on offer and Corey would have walked in as the champion because he won the most races. But we wanted to promote close, clean racing, which would then promote a close, clean championship to the very end. Now, yes, it didn't end so clean, which, we obviously wanted it to have. But in saying that, it was still a phenomenal season nonetheless. Now, the first thing I want to ask you before we get into the semantics of the season, there was a moment with Ellie Gardner at the James Scott Fountain. I had a little bit of a look on it. It almost looked like you kind of nudged her as she came through, and then she went around. I don't know. Did she even call it in though, or did she just let it go?
No, she didn't end up calling it in. I was worried about that as well. I went back and had a look at it, and it looks like I didn't touch her at all.
Okay.
Looks like there was a bit of a slide. She got a bit of a slide, which that's why I went to the outside, because I saw her have a bit of a slide off the corner.
Yeah.
The corner beforehand. Yeah, so I went out wide. It looks like the rear's just gone on her, and she's just sort of slid into me.
Okay.
We have spoken about it afterwards. I've apologised. Obviously, yeah, I didn't want to. We've had really, really good racing this season. I've really enjoyed racing Ellie. She's super quick and super clean. So, yeah, not how I wanted that one to go, but yeah, it looks like it was just a racing incident. So
Yeah. And I mean,
I was definitely
look too far
worried
into
about it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't look too far into it, but I tried to look at it at least a couple of times, because obviously it was big implications. If it was your fault, then it could have led to a penalty, which then would have put the pressure back on you. So from a narrative standpoint, I thought, well, we need to try and break this down a little bit. But because from first glance, it looked like she slid. The second glance, I didn't know if you'd maybe hit her from the camera angle I had it. I didn't want to go far chase because it doesn't look right on a broadcast, but regardless, I mean, you had a phenomenal season, mistake free pretty much the majority of the way, and it's ended up with you winning a championship, which means you'll be receiving a certificate as a congratulations. We haven't got any room in the budget this season for trophies. Next season though, with the slightly, we took that in mind actually, with the upping of the entry fee, because we wanted to at least try and get our champion a trophy. But it does mean though, Mez, that you lead the race to the 1 year competitive VRS subscription, which will come up at the end of our year with VRS. So by the time we loop back around to the start of what would be season 5, you can find yourself with a 1 year competitive subscription next to your name. So you go into next season as the points leader of the overall tally, and as the champion as well. If you do race next season, you will also get a special champions banner, because I know you don't want to run number 1, but we're going to show off that you're the champion somehow. And I thought, well, we'll make you a banner or something. I don't know, but we'll see how it pans out.
I may still be convinced to run number 1. We'll see what happens. We'll see who gets into me.
Come on.
We'll see who gets into me.
Well, I mean, like, it's, and we obviously can't predict the future, no matter how consistent you were this season, but there's always the mantra of you may never get the chance to wear number 1 again. Whether, if it's only in this league or in another league, you may never get the chance to wear it again. So it's like, it's a pretty special thing. Like, it's, you only get to wear it sometimes. Some drivers only ever get to wear it once. Some never get to wear it at all. So I feel it's, if I won a title, I would wear number 1, personally, because again, I live with the belief of I may never get it again. So I want to wear it for at least one season. But, you've driven an incredible season, and, you guys played the team game in the end, and that worked out. Sean is saying that you will, apparently. So,
oh, righto.
Yeah.
Okay. the boss has spoken.
Yeah, McNamara has spoken on that one. So apparently you will be. But irregardless, though, Mez, it's been an incredible season. We appreciate you coming on board and racing with us this season. All the support from all the drivers has been amazing. And we hope that this support can continue into future seasons as well, because we really want to grow this into a really fun and competitive series. Obviously people get heated. It's racing. It happens. But we want it to be a place where drivers can come, feel accepted, feel included, and go racing in a fair manner, where it's close and that you could win something if you really put your heart into it. So we're excited for next season.
Yeah.
We hope that we've had the public entries open now for a week, and we're at roughly 20 entries already. So we're nearly halfway to our 45 maximum, with a couple of weeks to go before round 1. So we're hopeful that we can fill that, and we can have a nice, good full grid by the time we head out to Hockenheim for round 1.
Yeah, no, it'd be good. Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed this season. The racing, like, like I sort of said last week, it was like the championship was sort of second to me. I've just been enjoying this series just because it's like really, really good racing. Like even at the end of this one, racing Devon Stove, like that was awesome. Like I know in the back of my mind I was saying I don't need to race him, championship sorted, but I come here to race, and that racing at the end was just awesome with Devon. So that was so good. So yeah, it's just and everyone seems to get along really well. Everyone's really supportive. I've made a few friends out of it as well, which is cool as well. Picked up a teammate along the way. So it's a really, really good season. As soon as entries opened for season 2, I was like, no, I'm coming back and doing this again. This is good fun. So what else can you really say about it? It's just it's a good fun series. And
tell your friends, come and race with us and have a crack.
I've already checked the Discord and I've already checked the messenger chat, and Craig and Sean are already yelling at people to come do it next season. So sounds like there might be a few more 9.5 cars on the grid, which would be good.
We might have to maybe try and get like different little pairings of 9.5 cars on the grid, so they're slightly different liveries or something, just to spice it up a little bit, you know.
We're still waiting on the brand new paint job. There's a new paint job actually.
Well,
we're still running last year's paint.
And no offense to RSW Graphics, but the series is sponsored by an iRacing paint maker, so you know. Maybe conversations could be had somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
That's up to Sean.
We do need it.
That's up to Sean.
I'll leave it to him. That sort of stuff, I'll leave it to him.
But no, I mean, an incredible season for you, Mez. Absolutely fantastic, and you know we couldn't be prouder of this series and the fact that it's gone so well this season. So we're excited for next season. We're excited to see what you can do as the defending champion next season. If you can somehow go back to back, then Rankin may have a heart attack.
Not happening. No, not happening.
But
there's no way. Like Dan, Corey, and Ben they're just phenomenal. Like even today, like this race today, on average, I was like 2 to 3 tenths slower than them per lap on average. So it's like, it's hard. These cars they're difficult to get your head around. But when you get your head around them, you can pull out decent pace in them. But yeah, to be as quick as those guys, like it takes commitment. And I haven't cracked the code yet. I feel like I'm almost there, but I just can't quite crack the code on how to get it going as quick as what they are. So yeah, I definitely would not put me as a contender for next season. Like I said, might still have to run the number 1 and. You know, I'll come and do as good of a job as I possibly can, and you know, pick up where I can. But yeah, I don't see myself as a potential for next season. I think it's going to be down with those 3 who gets it done.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We won't know until we are back at Belle Isle at the end of next season who's going to be the champion. So. But Mez, congratulations and a fantastic effort this season to win the championship in an incredible effort. Let us know how helps get you and 9.5 Sim Sports out on track. Anyone else wish to give a shout out to as well? For myself, Jack, the rest of the league, congratulations on being the Season 1 VRS Porsche Cup Series champion on 1,021 points in the end.
Yeah. Obviously, big thanks to you guys for putting the series on. Obviously said I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I can't wait to come back for season 2. Big thanks for the broadcast as well. They've been really good to go back and watch. You know, there'll be days at work where I'm just kind of like, it'd be good to have something playing, and I just go and listen to these broadcasts, and they're really, really good to listen to. Big thanks to Craig, Jaden, Luke, Dan for coming and competing this season. Craig especially, just for stuck with me the whole way through, and it's really good to see him starting to get some really, really good results on the board. He was definitely owed a good result tonight, but unfortunately didn't go his way. Jaden's been pushing as hard, so you know it's been good to have him in the team. Big thanks out to the guys as well. Everyone at 9.5 Sim Sports, you know, everyone's so supportive and gets behind each other, and it's great to see. It's probably one of the best teams I've been a part of, so I'm so glad to be a part of it. Our sponsors, Racecraft, RSW Graphics, Track School, Track Days, Racing Ears, and yeah, thanks, and look out for season 2.
No worries, man. Thank you so much. Best of luck in Season 2. We look forward to seeing you out on the road, and hopefully we see you with the number 1 on the side of that Racecraft Simulations entry.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks, mate. Well, ladies and gentlemen, after what has been an incredible first season of the VRS Porsche Cup Series, we are so excited to bring Season 2 your way next season. This has been so extraordinary, so heartwarming for us as league admins to be able to provide a great space to come racing each week, even through maybe some frustrations for some drivers, but we've had an immense time with it. I've looked forward to every single Monday night when we get to go racing, and I am so excited for next season. A reminder that sign up now in the IRWC Discord server. I linked it earlier in the chat. I'm going to link it again as well. Join the Discord. Come racing with us. It is an immense time. Your further details for your next season. Well, we got the same series benefits on offer for next season. A 1 times 1 month competitive plan subscription for each driver has not been subscribed to VRS in the previous year. New subscribers only. A 1 year, 1 times 3 month, 1 times 1 month sub for the top 3 in the championship. Total points across the year. So currently Simon Mazzomo leads that race with 3 seasons to go in that timeline. We'll see how well he can do in trying to claim that 1 year subscription. All League members during the length of the league will be provided with a 10% discount on all VRS hardware from the posted price online at the time of purchase. League members will be provided with a special one-time 30% discount if they sign up for a year of our competitive subscription or team at VRS as well. Further details for you next season. The entry fee has gone up to $20. Again, this is just to help move us towards self-funding the series altogether. The entry fee is slowly going up over the seasons until we get to a number that we're happy with. It's not going to get too egregious, we promise you, but we just want to get it to a point that we can self-fund the series to help pay for broadcasting, for race control, and as well for promoting the series too, so we can go racing each and every week. In the series, we'll be using the 992 Cup car once again. Still fixed setups, the iRacing fixed setups, live race control, safety car, live broadcast right here on YouTube and Twitch. And yes, said a 1 month, a 2 month, and a 3 month subscription to be given away every single week for first, second, and third place for the round results as well. Tonight, that 3 month subscription's gone the way of Corey Lazarus once again. We've got the new race format coming next season, of the finale race format, the 2 30-minute feature races, the rush, the feature, and the sprint. Still an offer next season as well. That calendar for next season, once again, is as follows: Hockenheim Ring for the first round, Rebel Ring, Silverstone Historic, Winton, The Bend, Bathurst, Okayama, Interlagos, Long Beach, and Belle Isle for the final round of the season. As well, starting up next season 2, the Rodnock Cup, as we mentioned. The format for you: 10 rounds, 9 ovals, and 1 road course. Fixed iRacing setups, automatic cautions with Lucky Dog enabled the cars: the ARCA class, the ARCA Chevrolet SS, the ARCA Ford Mustang, and the ARCA Toyota Camry. $10 entry fee. It's only a Fun Friday series. There's no race control, so it will be broadcasted. But again, that's just to help cover the cost of the series. Trophies for first, second, and third in the championship finishing position. The championship winner will receive a free entry to the next season of the Porsche Cups, to Season 3 of the Porsche Cups, or a free entry to our future premium series that is coming soon. The votes are still happening in the Discord for that series as well. The options that we put on offer to the drivers was Ferrari Challenge, Dark Horse Challenge using the Mustang GT3 car, GT4s, or GTEs. That vote is still happening. When that vote ends, depending on how close it is, it will then go down to a 2-option system where 1 vote is only allowed per driver. At this stage, it's looking like it's going to come down to a re-vote of GT4s and GTEs with 1 vote per driver to really slim that down. And again, this series will be broadcasted on Affinity Broadcasting Live on YouTube and Twitch. Registrations are open now. Sign up via the Rodnock Cup registration channel in the IRWC Discord server as well. But to end it all out, we once again appreciate everyone's time being here with us this season. It has been absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, James was still dealing with those tech issues in the end, so he couldn't come back with us. So we really appreciate it. So we appreciate everyone joining us for this season. I've been Hamish Munro, joined by James Parfitt this season, as well as Dean Biggles for a couple of rounds too. We appreciate everyone's time. Be sure to hit the like button to subscribe, the bell icon as well if you're watching over on YouTube. to be notified whenever we go racing here on Infinity Broadcasting, whether it's with the VRS Porsche Cup Series and the IRWC or the Rodnock Cup, as well as on Saturday nights, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans Split 2 action for Season 23, myself and Brett Fisher in the booth. We'll be back again with that series this coming Saturday for Interlagos for the second last round of that series as well. It's going to be an absolute barn burner. The wet calls Brazil. And the rain will be on there as well. Thank you everyone for joining us this season. We so appreciate your time, so appreciate everyone being here. We love and appreciate everyone who has participated this season, or if you've watched along with us as well. This has been absolutely incredible. We appreciate everyone's support for the series. We hope to see you out there for Season 2, racing with us once again. But until then, for the final time this season, thank you so much. Stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
Control, feel the thunder in my soul. Through the danger, through the pain, only one thing to do to get to victory lane. Taking risks, full send, and in the end, be the best. It's taking over, cannot contain the desire to get to victory lane. Of the past, the roaring ghosts that never last. But here I stand, the finish line. One last race, one last time. Through it all, get past the pain. Cutting laps, making gains. Feeling tired, get to my aim. The desire to get to victory lane. Speeding faster, no control. Feel the thunder in my soul.